Hello?
Ellis,
Hey, Dale.
what's going on?
Just making sure you got the agreement. I was going to go over it with you.
Yeah,
Okay. If you get that open, we can go over it line by line if you wish.
yeah, that's fine. I
Okay.
have it open.
All right. So basically, we're buying the property on Norris Drive. I'm on page one. The legal
Mm-hmm.
description and the APN, I'll let the escrow company pull that. I don't have the legal description. There's not a lot of data online. Anyway, you owed like 287,000 and some odd dollars, so I just put it at 288 even. Earnest money's $100 to get the party started. That'll open up escrow. You'll see on page two that is the exact balance that was on that statement that you sent over to me. This 3949 is basically what we owe for November. I understand that I'm assuming we're gonna be another $1,800 behind, correct?
No, so that's actually incorrect. I don't owe 39.49. That was an old statement, and that was the
Okay.
most recent statement. Right now, I only owe 1863.
Okay. Okay. The title company will correct that. I can correct that before I send it over. Let me make a note. I'll just put that down as
Yeah,
1 month, right? 1863, right? So,
yeah,
okay.
and that'll be paid by me later on this month,
No, you don't
I
have to.
guess.
You don't have to pay that. We'll take care of that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to pay everything that you're in debt right now and put 5 grand in your pocket and send you on your way. That's what I'm trying to accomplish right now. So I'll correct that
Gotcha.
3949. And then you'll see the line below that $5,000 cash at the close of escrow. So basically,
Right.
all our closing costs, there's no realtor fees, like we're paying everything, right? You're going to get 5 grand in your pocket as agreed. I am going to try to
Right.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I noticed that the X box that's checked is approximate and not exact. So what does that mean? Like there could be something.
Uh,
Well,
I'll click the exact. I'll correct that too. Exact. I think that was just the TC because yeah, it should be exact. You're exactly right. So far I've got an error on what you owe on page two, and I have to correct that
mhm.
checkbox. So we'll keep it moving. Um, November 30th or sooner is when I'm going to try to close this deal. The only hiccup that we could have is Thanksgiving. I'll know more on Monday
I
when I
mean,
go ahead.
that's fine. That's fine. I figure that's going to happen. Um, that's okay.
Okay, just know
If it's
that
after Thanksgiving, I mean, it'll be a couple days.
right.
Thanksgiving's what, the 25th? I guess. I don't know.
23rd, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, the
Okay.
23rd.
I mean, I don't know. I don't celebrate, so I just go to people's houses if they ask me. But I don't really celebrate any holidays, so
Is that
I don't know
right?
when they fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then this, we're still on page two. The association, that's your HOA, Travis Ranch, the parties, Dale Stanley Wilson Jr., the address, oh, I'm on page three now. The address is the same. The buyer, that's our
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm just listening.
the buyer is us, REI Creative REI Holdings, a Texas limited liability company. That's the boss's phone number. That's the boss's email address, Esteban. Inspection period. We're just going to send somebody out, maybe a general contractor, just to give us an idea of, hey, we got to replace the carpet. Because you said something about baseboards or something, right?
No, it's easy repairs. It's
Okay.
even when you don't touch the baseboards, somehow they get messed up. Not messed up, but they have like normal wear and tear. Like even when the house was brand new, built like 2 weeks into the house, the baseboards didn't even look the same as they did before. I don't
Gotcha.
know why they do that, but no, those are easy
Okay.
little fixes, and the contractor will come out and see that there's no major repairs that need to
Okay.
be done. Like I said, I drilled some decent size, holes to run cable through.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that can't be repaired by somebody who's smart in that. Like it's easy stuff.
Yeah.
And I have to repair it myself. I have to, but It should be fairly easy for me to clean up those baseboards and stuff like that. Because, like, even some of them that I haven't touched, like, I haven't touched it, haven't looked at it, haven't even done anything but walk past it. I'm like, I haven't even touched these, so I feel like I have to repaint, like, corners and stuff,
Okay.
you know?
All right. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So moving along, we get down into the escrow fees and costs. The checkbox, 100% by
Right.
the buyer, that's us.
Yep.
The title insurance policy, that's us. Any HOA fees, blah blah blah, that's us. Transfer taxes, checkbox is us. And then all net to the seller on 114, seller will be paid $5,000 from the close of escrow. So I will correct that box, like I said, on page 2. So page 3 is done. Page 4, that's Freedom Mortgages information, and then the solar company. Those are just encumbrances that we're basically taking over subject to, right? We're going to make the payment on the solar. We're going to make the payment on the mortgage. Let's see. Basically, we're setting up paperwork that's going to mirror your existing loan. There's no seller financing here. We're basically just, you know, whatever you're paying, we're going to pay. Whatever taxes are owed, we're going to pay. Like, we're going to handle all of that. It's going to be an exact mirror. Like, you're not getting anything in addition to that $5,000. Let's
Right.
see, page 5. Not really anything that we need to worry about, because that would, all of this is basically would say, hey, it's a seller finance deal. This is not. Now we're on page 6. There's no parties in occupancy of the property other than the seller, and the buyer will be given occupancy of the property at the close of escrow. And that's basically you, riding off into the sunset like John Wayne. And then basically,
I don't know about that.
well,
I'll be riding off into something, maybe not the sunset.
I hear you. But basically, all the rest of this is just uh, the terms, like it's all basic boilerplate stuff. There's no seller carryback. I'm on 3.5 right now. There's no seller carryback. All of the payments and everything are outlined on page 1, section 1.4. So all of that is basically redundant. The status of title, we said we're going to pay for title insurance. That's number 4. Number 5, like I said, we're going to come out and inspect the property. And then essentially you'll leave it in, I don't know, broom swept condition. I don't really care. I'm not too concerned about it. It's a 2002. Hang on, let me yell at these dogs. Packer! My dogs are trying to kill the neighborhood dog.
Let me go back to this carryback. What is carryback? What is that?
So, like, for instance, let's say that we were going to take over your mortgage subject to, and let's say that, let's say you, let's just say you owed that 287, which you do, right? Let's say that your house was worth 387. So basically, we would give you a down payment, and then we would continue to make the payments, and then we would make a separate equity payment to you. But there is no seller carryback. There's not a second. There's no equity in this house.
Gotcha.
So I am on page 8. Am I too far?
No.
Okay, so lead-based plates, septic, wastewater, blah, blah, blah. As the purchase, the existing condition at the close of escrow, so, don't spray paint it, break all the toilets, shit like that. You're not going to do that, so I'm not worried about that. Number 9 is the closing costs and everything. I already outlined that we're paying for everything. If for some reason I didn't do what I said I was going to do, or you weren't letting us come inspect the property, that's what this cure notice is. Number 10. Number 11, if there was some sort of a problem, if you breached the terms or whatnot, we're gonna come after you for attorney fees. But I don't see you being an irrational person or anything. I don't have any issues. Don't foresee any issues, right? So I can't call you up and say, hey, we're only going to give you $2,000 now, right? No oral changes or representations. What's on the paper is on the paper. So you're going to get your $5,000. at the close of escrow. And you can have them wire you money to an account. You can go pick up a check. However you want to handle that, that's up to you. The title company, when they reach out to you later next week, they'll give you all that information. So I think we're on page 9 here. Everything is pretty self-explanatory, and then we get to page 10, and that's where you're going to sign on one side, we're going to sign on the other, and then you could cancel this contract. If we sign this contract tonight, you've got until November 15th at 12 o'clock. For some reason, you're like, hey, something just doesn't feel right about this. I just want to cancel the contract. So you'll be able to do that too. That's a provision that's in here. And then basically, I am down on the next, the seller acknowledgement. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So basically, it's just we're going to initial all of this stuff. You're the owner of the property. Yeah. You've read the contract. You understand that you're the seller and I'm the buyer. We're not acting as realtors or anything. It's pretty self-explanatory. Sales price, blah, 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 giving up equity in my property. There is no equity in your property, but sometimes people have to sell for a reason. If their house was worth $300,000 and I was only giving them $200,000, but it solved their problem, they're understanding that there's equity. But I can assure you, there's no equity in your property.
Nope.
This is basically a binding contract. The buyer is a wholesale buyer who is purchasing and or for investment. That's boilerplate stuff. We're going to take this thing down and keep it, so that's not even an issue. Legal advice, obviously I can't give you any legal advice. You want to talk to an attorney, you should do that. Let's see, everything's been fairly negotiated. The property is not listed with a real estate broker, so sometimes folks will try to sell me their house. They don't tell me, hey, I got a contract signed with a realtor, and then the realtor wants to get paid, and just complicates stuff. So we don't have any realtors involved, right?
Not at that level. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've spoken to quite a few of them, but I don't have anything signed because what they do is you sign an agreement to have your house listed, but that's not a binding contract. You can back out of that at any time.
Okay.
Now, if you sign a contract for something, that's different, but I haven't done either. So
okay, perfect. All right, so you don't have any precluding physical or mental conditions. You're not under the influence when signing this. You're not under duress. I'm not holding you at gunpoint or anything like that. And then basically the seller addendum to the contract, it basically, breaks down the terms. You just understand that you're authorizing the release of information. So if we've got to contact the bank or we've got to contact the solar company or whatever, you're going to give us, whatever we need signed, third party authorization, whatever. So basically, this is all stuff that may or may not pertain to this agreement. Again, just boilerplate. It covers everything. Bunch of attorneys smarter than me wrote it. Do you have any questions?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. Do you have any questions?
Oh, it cut off. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't have any questions right now. I'll ask it at the end once you get through the rest of this.
Okay. If we're looking at this, what page do you think you're on? So I'm on the same one. Are we in the seller addendum contract?
Say again?
Are we in the seller subject to addendum to the contract? Is that where we're on? Page 1 of that? That's where I was.
Yeah, subject to addendum to contract.
Yeah, so basically that's what I was just talking about, the authorized to release information in favor of the buyer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so you can kind of just read through that. Some of this stuff will pertain to us. Some of it won't. Like the notice to change of address. So like we'll have the lender send to us the payment, all that kind of stuff to our mailbox, the insurance, anything like that, taxes, anything. It's not going to come to the house because we're going to have a tenant in it, right? So it'll come to us. And then there's an escrow letter, the limited power of attorney. So that basically is, it only pertains to this house. We wouldn't have any control over anything else. But as far as the house goes, so God forbid the house burns down, the insurance, all that stuff, you basically are letting us speak to the insurance company so we can let them know, hey, we're the owners of this house, and the check is coming to us, and whatever it is that we need. I haven't ever had that issue, but that's just something that could happen down the road. And then I'm on page 2, the buyer's sole and absolute discretion to insure, to maintain insurance on the place, and yada, yada, yada. So I fully understand the terms of the contract, et cetera, and so forth. I understand that the property is being acquired subject to the seller's existing loan, yada, yada. The loan's not going to get paid off, right? We're going to continue to pay that thing, blah, blah, blah. And then it just continues on, seller representation and warranty. You understand the terms of the contract. So basically everything that the buyer's thing just said, the seller's under the same set of instructions, for lack of a better term. So then the seller disclosures no further ownership or control. Like, once we do this deal, it'll be our house. You won't, we won't be calling you, hey, this is broken, the roof's broken, hey, some guy just crashed into this house and he's suing you. Like, you wouldn't be responsible for any of that stuff. That would all be us.
Right.
So, it basically just goes through here. The due on sale clause could get called. So, for instance, the bank could say, hey, you transferred the ownership to this property to somebody else, but the loan is still in your name. We want all of our money in 90 days. It's happened before. It happens about 1 in every 500 homes that we purchase. So if it happens, we can do an option lease. We can put it in a title. Like, there's about 5 different things that I can do to correct that, including paying this loan off and refinancing it with my bank. So I wouldn't be concerned about it. You just need to know that it could happen. But we have remedies for that problem if it were to pop up. But basically, all this stuff is pretty standard boilerplate stuff.
Okay.
So I'm on.
Yeah, I read through this a few times already.
Oh, okay, good.
But I want to make sure that you explain some of these things, like the wraparound financing and event of foreclosure and existing loan on credit report. I mean, some of those are self-explanatory and stuff like that, but I just want to go through those and then ask my couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead. So basically, I'm on page 4 of that last, coming down the stretch, the wraparound financing transaction. This is a wraparound financing transaction, which means I'm making the payments on your behalf, right? The buyer will pay the existing loan according to the terms. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. I don't care. And the seller may pursue foreclosure to the property if the buyer fails to pay the existing loan according to the terms. So basically that paragraph right there. So for instance, I'm going to take care of all of the I'm not saying you got back taxes or back HOA or I'm going to make all
I don't think I do have any back HOA, to be honest. Because they haven't sent me anything in the mail, and I don't know.
Yeah, so basically we're coming out of pocket to pay the closing costs. We're investing thousands of dollars, and for some reason I get abducted by aliens. You can't find me, and I don't make a payment for some reason. You would be able to take the house back from me, put it back in your name. You don't have to foreclose on us, any of that. This clause right here would basically give you a deed in lieu of foreclosure, right? So you could take the house back. obviously the payment in this case would be 1 month behind, but every payment that I made. So if I paid this thing for 3 years and I paid the principal down, and for some reason, your house went up in value and whatnot, you could take this house back, you could move into it, you could rent it out, you could give it to a realtor and sell it. Everything that I gave you, you would get to keep. So it would be not in my best interest to do that. And we haven't had any issues in the past, don't anticipate any issues in the future. Primarily, this house right here, it doesn't cash flow for any reason, so we're basically buying this to depreciate the value and get a tax break on the money that we got to send the U.S. government. So next year after that, I don't know when it is, we'll most likely sell this property, when the interest rates come down a little bit and the market starts going back up. So I don't anticipate anything, but that's essentially what the wraparound is talking about.
Yeah, I was looking at some market analysis stuff, and the market is for the housing anyway. The whole real estate thing is supposed to, some of the percentages are supposed to go down, so you may build some equity very quickly in this house because apparently the interest rates are about to go back down. That's what they are saying.
Right. So then,
I don't know.
Yeah, the interest rates will go back down. Hopefully, the value of homes will go back up. But that's basically what it is. One goes up, the other goes down. The other goes down, the other goes up. Like it's a yo-yo effect. But we are, we're anticipating that we're probably gonna, be 3 or 4 years before we see anything like that. Maybe the interest rates come down closer to 6. I mean, they're right around 8% right now. They dropped a little bit to 7.5.
8% is still high though, right?
Yeah, exactly. But then people like my parents remind me, well, in the 80s, we were paying 19%, and I get it. Okay, but you're also buying a 40, 50. $60,000 house, not like what we're buying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. It was like sales tax. So, yeah. Any other questions on this?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. I'm just looking at this. I read that. That's self-explanatory. I guess my other question is, while I'm thinking about it, why don't y'all just outright buy it and satisfy the loan?
Because
and do like a refinancing for yourself.
Well, because your interest rate is a lot lower. I couldn't go get a 5.5%.
Oh, I got you.
I'd be buying.
Sense. Yeah, because my interest rate is pretty low.
Right.
Compared
to what I'd buy.
I saw this other thing.
Yep.
Right, compared to what you would buy.
Right.
I mean, I got the VA loan, and I was looking at that, and I don't plan on buying another house ever through a loan. The only way I'll ever buy another house now after this is if I'm paying cash money for it. So I have to be a millionaire or something like that to buy a house outright. So I don't plan on getting any more loans.
Okay.
So I'm not really worried about that VA loan. I'm done buying houses. Like, I don't want to ever own or maintain a house. It's a pain in my ass, and y'all can do all that, but I can't stand it.
Yep.
I'm going to be the guy who's a 45-year-old man with a nice-ass condo that I'm renting, okay? Because I will never buy another property. Let me see. I guess that's really it. I guess my other question is, why do people call subject to scams? Because I had 2 realtors, and I had a guy who owns a real estate company come into my house yesterday, and I said, what do you guys think about subject to? And they didn't even let me get the word to out of my mouth before they started saying how it's a scam, wraparound financing is a scam, and everything that you've been saying sounds fine. For the most part, I'm not thrilled about it still being on my credit, but that's okay. It's better than trying to rent it out and have people pay and stuff like that. Granted, it would still be in my name, but I'd have to go through the process of having somebody rent it out, possibility of them destroying it and stuff like that, I guess, which is not likely, but still, I kind of don't want to worry about the house anymore. And if you guys are making those payments on my behalf, and you guys look pretty legit, it's pretty binding looking kind of contract thing here. What you guys are going to be doing is actually building my credit by
Correct.
paying that.
You'll have a performing.
Because my credit is taking a hit.
Correct.
A big hit.
Exactly. So basically, you're a little bit behind right now. If you were going to go buy a house, you're in no danger of buying a house for another 12 months of perfectly paid mortgage. So essentially, if you did want to buy something, you'd be good to go in about 12 months from the time we close. Now, if you look at your email right now, I just sent you another email.
Mm-hmm.
If you open that up and you go to page 1 of the HUD statement, so this is a government form, and this breaks down every single thing. It'll say the contract price, etc., and so forth. If you look at line 203, do you see how they're all numbered?
Hold
do you
on.
see?
You said you just sent it to me?
Yeah.
I am not seeing it. I do not see it.
Okay.
Let me unread.
I replied to the. I replied to the.
So you replied?
Yeah, I replied to the email that you sent me with the electrical.
Oh, wait a minute. The one you said I'll call you in 10 minutes?
I think it was another one. I think I texted you, didn't I? You sent me one with your electric bill. There's one with the HOA fees. Hold on, I can do that too. I can attach it to that. Where's the HOA fees one? This one. Yeah, call you in 10 minutes. Here, reply. I'll put it in that one.
I just restructured all my emails so that
That's all good.
Everything is by name. So everything has its own folder. So some of them might be popping up in the inbox, and some of them might be going to the actual folders I set, but I don't know yet. It's not junk email. I don't see it in the junk email.
I just replied to that other one that I said I was calling you in 10 minutes.
Okay. Man, I'm not seeing it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it.
Maybe, let's see here. Camera.
I mean, I'm sure you're using the right email. I'm just.
Yeah, I just replied to what I sent you. I'm gonna send you a text message. Oh, you got it? Okay.
I just got it. It probably just took a second because it was an attachment.
Yep.
Okay, so.
So page 1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see where, how everything's numbered? If you look at number 203, it says existing loan taken subject to. On line 503, right next to it in the other column, existing loans taken subject to. Now, if it was illegal and if it was a scam, why would it be on a government form? Like it wouldn't. So,
well, you're talking about the government after all.
That's true.
Legal scams, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. But
that's true.
I mean, I'm just asking a question because.
No, I don't have a problem. I just want to. Most realtors are not educated. So if it was a scam or if it was illegal, because some of them purport that it is, if it was that, then on the HUD,
I've looked it up already.
Yeah, on the HUD that everybody uses, it's on there. So if it was a scam, why would they let us do that?
Yeah, it's perfectly legal. I mean, I've looked it up and I've looked at different situations, and honestly, I always ask the question because I like to see if people lose their mind or they talk in an educated way. Because some people, when you ask them about the legalities, they start shaking and faking, and and I'm kind of trying to look through bullshit. I already got enough of it from my own self, so I'm just looking at I'm just looking at these options, and why I'm doing this right now is because I don't want to rent it out because I'm not going to get any. I'm still going to have to pay $600 a month. They're bound by a contract, but what happens if they lose their job? You know what I'm saying? What happens if they lose their job or something like that? I don't want to rent it out at less than what it is, because I would still be paying out of my pocket towards that, because I was going to rent it out, but they would only pay like $2,200, which is great, but I would have to fork over $600 extra bucks every month, so I'm still paying for it, and I'm not living there, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
The other thing is to try and sell it normal way by doing it. I think what do they call it, MLS or something like that.
Yeah, the MLS.
Put it on the market.
Yep.
And that is fine, but that could take 1 month. That could take 2 months. That could take 3 months. And if you want to get it sold quickly, you have to go at a less rate. So instead of them paying $287 or whatever, they might say, well, let me give you $272, and then you have to make up the difference at closing. And I don't have the money to wipe my own ass. So why would I, try and do that option? So the options are very limited.
Yep.
And pretty much this is the best option that I have. And granted, it is a little dangerous, because if you just decide you're not going to pay it for some reason, or if everybody dies or get abducted by aliens, or, something happens, then, it's written in there that I can still come back and take over the house. So that's my key thing right there. If something happens and it doesn't get paid. And
correct.
From what I can tell, y'all seem pretty reliable, but I mean, maybe you can take the house and buy it and disappear, but even then, you're still paying for it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah. So you're fully protected as far as that goes.
Yeah, I never dealt with this stuff, so
no, I get it.
It's a big eye opener for me for whenever I see a person who has to deal with this. But this is my option right now, and I'm not pre-foreclosure or anything right now. So, I mean, if you're gonna scam me, I guess, hey, scam me, keep the house, and give me $5,000, and I don't know, I'll fucking fight the credit and be like, hey, I don't have the house.
Right.
If I had to, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not. No, I'm not really concerned, because I don't plan on buying anything. So I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row and, ask these questions, because I'm sure they come up. I mean, maybe some people don't even ask the question, but I ask these questions because...
If you didn't, I would say, hey, could I tell you some questions that you should be asking? But that is definitely, I told you about the due on sale clause. That could happen. I could get abducted by aliens. I mean, that could happen. But it's not in my intent to defraud you or to ruin your credit. My intent is to help you, because there's a lot of people out there that can't help you. And if you put this thing on the market, you'd have to sell it for a lot more than what it's worth just to pay the realtor.
Right. And the other issue is, too, I would have to do a lot more logistics, because, like I said, the house is still pretty new, and having people come in and walk it and, do stuff like that, they'd have to do that every time. Right. And I couldn't even really stay here at all. I can't be here, and I have to move my dog, and stuff like that and stuff. So I'm just kind of I'm kind of over the whole thing. So if you guys are going to pay it and help my credit grow, then that's even better, because my credit was almost 800, by the way, before I dealt with this mess. So I got to get it back up there. So that's going to take some time. And like I said, basically, I'm leaving it in y'all's hands after we go through this, because I'm not a house ownership guy. I'm just not. I thought I would like it, but I don't. It is a pain in my ass.
Yep.
So I don't know how people do it with families and everything like that. I can't do it. Maybe I'm just bred that way because of my years in the military and living in my spaces without having to worry about cutting the grass and maintaining the outside and spraying for bugs and all that. Maybe that's why I'm stuck on this, but I'm not a family man. So
I hear you.
I mean, maybe y'all are, and that's great, but hey, I'll live through y'all. Y'all have all the kids in all the houses, and I will be somewhere in a sterile environment with, my computers and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't have any other questions with that. I'm going to read back through it a few more times just to make sure I'm sure.
Okay.
And if anything, at the latest, I'll send it to you will be Monday. Just because Sunday I have a lot of shit going on Sunday, but I also have a lot of stuff going on this week. I have to write a 10-page paper as well. So, the funny thing is that that's the easiest thing I'm going to do this week, write a 10-page paper.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Let me see. Let me look back at this thing. I don't have anything else. Now I got the other email you sent. It just took forever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it had an attachment. That's all. It just took a while for it to go through. It happens all the time. But no big deal. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any other questions for you at all. Okay, so I do. I lied. Okay, for this final question I have. Okay, so my next payment, I'm supposed to pay it by the 15th, but I generally pay it a little bit later because the way that my VA checks fall with this whole situation. So I pay it a little bit later, which gives me a late fee sometimes. So this month for November, I normally will pay it closer towards the end, which will satisfy November. So do you want me to go ahead and pay that, or do you want me to not pay that?
You don't even have to worry about it. We can take care of it on the back side at the close of escrow. So as long as you're moving forward with us, we can take care of that. The late fee, it's not a big deal at the close of escrow.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that would be good. And to be honest with you, like, y'all are actually helping me out a whole lot. I mean, I don't know if you're twirling your mustache in an evil way over there or not, but I don't care, because that at the end of the day, if you're going to pay it and build my credit, number one, yes, I keep the loan, but you're kind of helping me out without me actually doing a whole lot. And on top of that, it's a really good time too, because I don't think I told you this. I told my other folks that came through here last month, 4 days before my birthday, my father passed away.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
So my father was he was a veteran, and he was getting a whole lot of disability and VA disability as well, which was what my mom was using as part of, their finances as well. But since he died, now she's not getting as much, so I have to help her out now, which is why I'm doing this, trying to do this very quickly too, not just for myself, but to help her out so I can help her get some stuff done, and I'll have my disability as well. So I'll be able to kind of help her out there while I try to get to 100% instead of 80% and stuff like that. So it's kind of I won't say a win-win, but it's kind of like a win for me, but win for her kind of thing, because, she's got a lot of shit on her plate also. I have my brother who he's got disability stuff he's trying to do. And then I got my other cousin and family members who are on the spectrum of, mental, whatever you want to call it. Some people say, I'm really not offended by anything, but some people say, the mental spectrum, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, I guess, with this whole situation. So that's kind of where I'm at. Just so you kind of know where my head's at when I'm asking a lot of these questions or what's going on. You're not like, this guy's just asking off the wall questions.
No,
like,
you're
why
not.
is he asking me this or why is he asking me that,
Yeah, no, you're not. You're asking all good questions. If you didn't ask any questions, that's when I would be concerned, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I just want, because a lot of people don't understand context, and they want to just, I like to get to the point, but in order to get to the point, sometimes you have to understand the totality of the entire situation.
Correct.
And if you don't, then you can't get down to business if you don't understand how you got to that point in the business. So I may not be the smartest. Well, let's say I may not have been the smartest when it came to certain decisions, but I'm not stupid. I'm somewhat of a smart guy. I am in school again, which doesn't make me smart, but people say that. But that's it. I don't have any more questions. And if I do think of something, I'll just send you an email or something like that.
Okay, I'll make the two corrections on the contract. I'll have the TC, the transaction coordinator, send this over to you for signature, And if everything looks copacetic, then you can sign it between now and Monday, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, cool. Now, when I move all this stuff out, you want it to be like completely empty, right?
No,
Like you're gonna move somebody in. Well, I don't know what your plans are.
No, whatever
but I don't know
you
if you're
want
gonna
to
move somebody
take,
in
you
here.
take.
Or you're gonna.
Yeah, whatever you take, you take. Whatever you want to leave, you can leave, and we'll throw it in a dumpster and get rid of it. So you don't really have to worry about it. I just don't want you to, stress over it. Whatever you want, you want. You don't want those socks and
Okay.
that sweater from 1994, then just leave it on the floor
Yeah.
in the closet. It's fine.
I guess, well, I mean, nothing like that, nothing like frivolous like that. I'm just asking because I don't know exactly what you're going to do. So, because if somebody was going to rent my house, what I was going to do is I was going to leave them the TV on the wall, mounted, brand new couch, all that stuff. But I'll sell it. I'll just sell it.
Yeah, you should
It'll be easier for me
absolutely
to
sell
just
it.
sell
Put
it.
money in your pocket. Sure.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
I think we'll go from there.
Yeah, if you got
I'll
any
just be
questions,
waiting on that form.
yeah, if you got any questions, you can call me, text me, email me, whatever you want to do. And then, like I said, I'll make those 2 corrections on page 2, the checkbox error and the payoff error for what you owe. And I'll send that. I'll have the transaction coordinator send that over to you, and you can sign it anytime between now and Monday. And then on Monday we can open up the escrow, pull the title, get everything started.
And how long do you think that would take from doing that to finish? Because what I might do is I want to get it like going, but I kind of want to have a little bit of money in my pocket so I can start with these moving expenses, because it's going to be kind of expensive for me to rent a truck and get all my stuff and coordinate. So, and I'm pretty broke right now, but I'll get my VA check on the 1st. So I don't want to close on like, the 30th and you're like, hey, you need to be out, or close on like the 25th, or maybe not 25th because that's like 2 days after Thanksgiving, but maybe so. But hey, you closing on the 28th and you need to be out by the 30th,
So what I'm
because
hearing,
I can take
what I'm hearing is that first week in December would be better for you.
At least because I don't know what the timeline is. Like once we sign the thing, like when do I need to be out? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you'll sign it, and then they're gonna close escrow. So I was trying to get the $5,000 in your pocket and all of that by the 30th, but it sounds like if you get your VA check,
actually, I mean that may be okay.
Let's just keep it a moving target, because what I don't know is how busy the title company is and how long it's going to take to get the title report back. So we can use that as a moving target. Right now, I'm trying to close this deal by the 30th. If they can't and they say, hey, we're not going to be able to do everything until the 5th of December, well, then that's when we'll move the date. And then if they say, hey, we can do this on the 27th, but that's not going to work for you, we can delay it out too. So just as long as we both agree that it's a movable target within reason.
Yeah, and that's fine, because honestly, with the stuff that I have, I'm going to a lot of this stuff I'm just going to sell it off, because I don't want to repack it and take, like, my mother's house is a complete, like, it's not a mess, but she just got a lot of clutter and stuff like that she has to deal with, and I don't want to move. I don't have a lot of stuff, but I don't want to move a whole bunch of stuff over there. Even with everything I have in here now, it would take me less than a day to move, but still, I want to be able to pack as little as I can, because I'm going to go down to as minimal as I can, basically keeping what I need. Because with what y'all are doing here with this, it's going to enable me to actually do some other stuff and not have to worry about maintaining a house. So I'm going to go stay in the Philippines or something for a month.
Okay.
After that, I got to get out of here. But that's just the plan. Anyway, that sounds good. Yeah, it can be. We can keep it moving like that, and then I mean, either way, I guess the sooner I get that, we close and I get that check, I can move my stuff out as quickly as possible. Because it won't take long. It won't take long at all. Like I said, it'll be less than a day for me
Okay,
to
cool.
move my stuff. So if I only have a day, then that's okay. Or if I have 2 days or 3 days, then it'll be done in a day.
Okay, we'll get that ironed out. The main thing is we get the contract signed and we get the escrow opened, and then escrow and title will tell me, hey, because of Thanksgiving, we need a couple of extra days, blah, blah, blah. I'll figure it out on Monday
Right.
once we get the
Right.
the agreement over to the title company.
Yeah, and that's fine too. That's fine too. That'll work. Because once that thing is signed and sent, I'm going to immediately start packing my house up and what I'm going to take, because I still got stuff in boxes right now that I haven't even unpacked. Okay, so I'm going to start packing stuff up and start selling stuff off and get it out of the house, so that when the time comes, I literally will have to pack up like 2 rooms and be done.
Okay.
So it'll be real quick and easy like that. And like I said, I don't have a whole lot of stuff, so it won't take long. But I'll get that form from you whenever you decide to send it, and then I'll read over it a couple more times. And like I said, I'll sign it at the latest on Monday. And I have faith that you guys are going to actually continue to pay it. Yep. And not destroy my credit, because you're evil credit destroying random people for some reason. But it doesn't benefit you to do that at all.
No, it does not.
It doesn't benefit you at all.
It does not benefit us at all.
So.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. If you need anything, my man, reach out to me. I appreciate it, Dale. You have a great night. Take care.
All right. Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.